And I was like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, it really needs to be explained, and I think everyone who's gotten it in the years, listen, a father and a son team from South Carolina who own a barbecue shop of gadgetry and tools, are big, like master pits.
Okay.
They needed something and realized that up until then, every cutting board that you have, that everyone, was either flat all the way across, and if you notice, whenever you cut on a flat cutting board, the juices are going to run over. Then my mom and dad used to have, and I don't know about you, but
one
had
around
the
the
canal,
edge.
the canal, and it drew the juices away. Well, these guys said, wait a minute, when you have a protein, like when I say protein, it means anything from fish to chicken to a turkey to your favorite steaks or your hamburgers or bacon. You have to let it sit and rest before you cut, okay? The beauty behind that is, I'm gonna push all this meat out of the way to show you something. All the natural juices that come out have to stay with the meat. That's how you keep it moist, that's how you keep it delicious. And if you don't have a concave concept the way this board does, it goes away. This is so wonderful, it actually takes 2 cups of juice from going away from the proteins and letting it rehydrate. So let me show you, watch, yeah. I'm gonna show you the board real quick, guys, before I do anything to it.
Okay.
It's so hard to tell. Even look, when I go profile, you can't see it. It took 3 years and engineers to actually create that concave. We gave you 4 slip grips, so you never have to put anything underneath your cutting board to slip again. We give you handles that are built in right there, because this is the extra large. This is the largest one I've ever brought you. We're gonna lay this down. What you cannot tell is there is an engineered curve here. How can I prove it? This extra large size one, which is the largest one we ever brought, 2 cups.
I'm worried right now.
Here is 2 cups of gravy. Ready?
I'm not.
We're gonna go 2 cups of gravy. And why I do this demo on television is so now you then can see what I'm talking about when I say the concave. If you did this demo on any other board besides the concave board, it would go eventually to the edges of the board and fall off. Here is 2 cups of thick gravy. Let's get it all in there. Please look at the perfect circle. I didn't make that up. That's the concave. Now you can see what was engineered. Is that amazing?
Is amazing.
Now you get it, right?
I was actually genuinely worried when you were pouring that out that it was going to.
I would never tell you to do this on any other board.
$44.62 is that feature price. 5 easy payments of $8.92. If you want to go for this, K48068 is your item number. This is such a clever idea, but it doesn't impact the way you're cutting at all.
No, not at all. In actuality, you know what it does do that you'll be surprised about is it actually helps your knife. Because of that little curve on there, it actually is less blunting on your knife when a flat board actually blunts your knife easier. So there is an extra benefit. If you're even cutting your own fruits and vegetables, think of a pineapple, how much juice is in there. Think of a watermelon. Think about all of that, even for fruits and vegetables, will keep the juices inside. Here's a beautiful prime rib, but here I'm gonna go further and maybe add some juice to the prime rib. No worries. You can actually glaze this, you can add some sauces to it, you can actually sit it, and now you can serve on this board because it's that beautiful. You're carving on it, you're keeping the juices, and you can serve on it.
When you see that, it just makes so much sense.
It really does.
Like you're saying about keeping all the juices with the meat. That's what you want.
And you know what? We were never taught that. It was one of those aha moments that when the gentleman gave me this, and I said, what do you mean keep the meats? I said, oh yeah, that makes sense. And they go, so tell me, why hasn't any cutting board before this ever done that for us before? And it's like, oh, I actually don't know what the answer to that was. So
this is a customer top rated product. So this has had some really great reviews. I think it's easy to see why when you've got a really well-built, solid board with that concave, which is completely unique. And that was, what, 2 cups of liquid? 2 cups of liquid will
hold up to 2 cups of liquid.
That's just incredible.
Now remember, a cutting board is made out of, this cutting board is made out of a natural wood. Each one's gonna be a little different because the wood grain. This is not a machine manufactured plastic. This is real wood. So what's important to note is don't put this in the dishwasher because we don't want this to swell up. All you need is a hand-held. We have food for you. Are you a barbecue person yet? Have you turned into the pulled pork world?
I love meats like this.
Okay, so this is a pork butt that has actually been cooked and slow braised for hours and hours. Then we wanted to sit for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Then I added my barbecue sauce in there. Doesn't matter, all the juices, the barbecue sauce, nothing's gonna come over. If you ever want a big game treat, do a pulled pork like this and just leave the bone on the side. Talk about how cool this is. This is restaurant beautiful. And we'll have you try it.
You know, this is something we just don't really have in the UK.
Yeah.
The whole pulled pork thing. But I have to say, that's one of my favorite things.
Your new thing when you come here?
I mean, I've been in the US for about 4 years now, and I'm starting to get accustomed to a lot of the things. This is one of my favorite types of things. Oh.
Isn't that great?
And do you know what makes the difference?
What?
Being able to put all the...
Correct.
Is it gravy? What do you call that?
Well, that's a barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce on that without it spilling everywhere.
And again, here's a perfect thing. Here's my beautiful piece of lamb, okay? And it's got to sit there. Do you see all the juices in there? That's important. That's what this concave does. It's keeping it hydrated. It's keeping it juicy. That's important. Why? Because I don't want this to dry out. Do you realize that if you have a cutting board that pulls away all the gravies and juices and the natural juices, it dries out the meat? The biggest mistake we make when we spend all this money on proteins is we get it off the barbecue, we get it out of the oven, we get it off the stovetop, and we go, let's cut it. No, let it rest. And you have to let it rest in its own juices. This is a foolproof way to do that with this board.
See, I never really knew about the whole letting it rest.
I didn't either until the board. You'll laugh, but I didn't know that.
Well, this is the time to go for this. Look at your current cutting board as well. Is it in the best state? You know, a lot of people keep cutting boards for a long time.
For too long sometimes.
This is a really good size. I mean, this is a big size cutting board here. This is 2 cups of liquid. 2 cups. And it all sits inside that concave. That is incredible. $44.62 is that price. We've also got it on those easy payments of $8.92. I get to